Hey guys, it's Caleb from JC Sports and welcome back to another episode of Caleb Asks the Pros. Today I will be interviewing soccer player Tiffany Cameron. Tiffany Cameron is a Canadian-born Jamaican soccer player who plays as forward and at times midfielder for the Jamaican Women's National Team. She has played in the National Women's Soccer Leagues in countries such as the USA, Germany, Israel, Sweden, Cyprus, and Norway. Tiffany, would you like to say a couple things about yourself for those people that may not know you?
Hi, my name is Tiffany Cameron, and I started playing soccer when I was 9. It was a little bit later than a lot of my friends. It's just because I was into swimming, piano, gymnastics, and I had a moment with my mom where I was like, "Hey, there's this funny story." I'm like, "Hey, can I play hockey?" And she was like, "It's too expensive." I'm like, "Okay, well, how about soccer?" Because I always used to play soccer with the guys during recess. And she's like, "Okay, we could try that." So it's funny because initially I loved hockey and I wanted to play hockey. And this is why I say it's important to try different things and be involved in different sports, because you can kind of realize like what's for you. So I got really into soccer and then took off from there. So I'm really happy to be a part of this interview and to expand on my career and my journey. After that, I played on the Team Ontario, Team Canada. I got a full-time scholarship to the Ohio State University. And after that, I kicked off my career playing pro. And it's been 7 years now of me playing professional football. I love it. And also, can't forget, play for Team Jamaica now, Reggae Girls. Went to my first Women's World Cup last year in France, and that was an amazing experience. Can't wait to talk more about that with you.
How did you become interested in playing soccer?
So it all started during recess. You know how obviously in elementary school you get to play. You have like 3 recesses, so I would always play soccer, and everyone was just in awe. They're like, "Wow, Tiff, you're really good," and I just enjoyed it. I love the sport, and that's kind of how it started. My passion started like at a young age, and I just took off. I said, "You know what? Let me play competitively and see where it takes me."
Did you play any other sports growing up?
Oh yes, hockey, I love basketball too. What else? Volleyball. I was involved in track and field as well too. Those sports I love. I just love being active. I think that was really important, just to keep fit.
Um, I know that you were a great college player and broke records with Ohio State University. Would you explain some of them to me?
Yeah. So when I was there, the record for one season for scoring goals was 13. And my senior year, I ended up scoring 21. So that was awesome. I set some goals prior to the start of that season. And I actually put together a vision board. And on it, there were 3 versions of me. So there's a small, medium, and a large version. And it was just showing my progression. And then I had like a football and a star, and I put 20 goals because I knew I needed to score at least 20 to beat the record. I think it was 19 or 20, but I put 20 and I ended up scoring 21. And I think it's important to have things like that, just because you can see a picture every day and be like, all right, how can I reach these goals? So I was happy to break the record for most goals in one season, but also all-time record as well too. I ended up scoring 40 goals altogether in my career, which was another record at the Ohio State University. And I also have 96 points, which is the most points in history for that university. So it was really cool to be kind of make history there, and we'll see if anyone will beat my record.
When did you play? When did you score your first professional goal?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it wasn't my first year playing professionally. It was actually my second year. So I went overseas to Germany, and what an experience that was. I ended up getting minor injury with my ankle, and I was out for maybe like about a month or so. And I came back, and I think it was the second game I came back. We were losing. It was like 3-2, and I came in and I scored a goal to tie it up. So I was so happy because that was literally after I came back from injury. So I made a like difference right away. And then we ended up winning the game. I think it was 4-3. So that was awesome. That was my first goal, and I have still the picture of that in my computer. It's awesome. Great memory.
How does it feel traveling around the world and playing soccer?
It's amazing. I love, like, for me, I've been traveling since I was, 12, 13. And I love to see the world. I love to embrace in everyone's different cultures. I think that's important. I think that's why I'm a little bit more flavorful, because I've seen a lot and I've been through a lot. Yeah, I love food as well, too. So it's cool to taste different foods from different countries and also really tap into their culture and even learning new languages as well too. I think that's cool. And also football is different everywhere you go. So I've kind of taken little bits of things from different countries that I played in and combined it into one to make how I am like today. So
Is there a difference between going to World Cup U17 and the World Cup in France 2019?
Oh, there's a big difference. You're young. So when I was there, it's like under 17 versus grown women that you're playing against. So yes, the atmosphere was still amazing on both parts, but I think it's a whole other level when you're playing in a women's World Cup. You're playing with very intelligent players, so you have to think a little bit more about your movements off the ball and try and be as dangerous as possible. Also too, as you know, the women's game has been expanding, right? So there were a lot more fans that came out to watch us versus under 17, but we still had a good crowd with under 17. So both experiences were amazing. They were different a little bit, but it's always an honor to represent your country. So I was equally happy.
How was it how was it figuring out that you made it to the World Cup and representing your country?
Oh, I was so happy. So are you asking me in two parts? Are you gonna ask me with Team Canada versus Team Jamaica, or which one? Or both?
Probably Jamaica, playing for Jamaica.
Okay, well, that was a transition. So both of my parents were born in Jamaica. So I actually had to get a citizenship, and then I had to get my passport, and I almost didn't get it on time. So once we figured out that everything was put together, then I was able to be on the roster, because originally it was like, well, Tiff, if you don't have this paperwork, these documents, you can't come to the World Cup. So it was literally like last minute. So when I found out, like I got an email, I found out, I actually started to cry. I was so shocked, because prior to that, I was really stressed out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to go to the World Cup. Like, I've been working so hard for this, and when the moment I found out, I literally I started crying, but I was like, yes! I was in Norway at the time, and I called my mom, and she was so excited for me. And yeah, it's honestly literally one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, to transition from going to Canada to Jamaica.
When you played for Canada U17 and you went to that World Cup, how did that feel?
That was cool too. I mean, I was very young, but I was honored. I think I've always been a humble person, and to realize that you, out of how many other young girls in Canada, you got the opportunity to play for your country and represent your country. Like, that's an amazing feeling. And it's the hard work that matters. There was a point in my career earlier where I wanted to quit. I was 14 and I was waking up very early in the morning to go. It was on the weekends. We would have to go at like 6 a.m. We have to be there, 6 or 7 p.m. We have to wake up extra early where I was. And I told my mom, like, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to sleep. Like, I want to do what my other friends are doing. And she told me, Tiffany, you work so hard. Why would you put it all to waste? She's like, and one day you can get a scholarship. School is very expensive. It will benefit you and it will benefit me as well too, and help us out financially. And I was like, you know what, you have a point. So I'm happy though that I stuck to that. And yeah, like 2 years later, I was at a World Cup. 2-3 years later. So it was an amazing experience to know that I was pushed, but I also had to realize that I couldn't be comfortable if I wanted to be great. So honoring my country, going to the World Cup was an amazing experience. And I look back at that moment all the time because I could have quit.
Do you think a lot of families in Jamaica watched your team during the World Cup?
Absolutely. It's one thing to be a part of history, but to see how that has impacted kids all across the world and also in Jamaica. I've gotten multiple messages from random people on Instagram, and even people from Jamaica just randomly will reach out and be like, you guys have really inspired me and I want to keep playing. And and just that's powerful to know that yes, we're all part of history, but we are also inspiring other people to live their dreams and go be great. So a lot of people were tuned in all across the world. But yes, Jamaica, big time.
Let me share the screen with you. Can you see this?
Yes, I can. I wrote that yesterday.
As you see, you shared this on Instagram. Can you share with us what this post meant to you?
I have moments where I just sit and I'm just in awe and I'm thankful for what soccer has brought to me, brought in my life. And, I sat there and I was just typing away. And I'm like, I'm so happy that I transitioned to go and play for Jamaica, because there was a time in my career where I was getting injured quite a bit and my body was going through changes. And I had to accept that, but I also had to go to the gym a little bit more and tweak my strength program. And actually the strength trainers from Jamaica, Will and Buju, they helped me big time. And I was a lot stronger going into the World Cup than prior to that, because I had surgery. I had to get surgery done, and I lost a lot of muscle mass and everything. And there are a lot of things I just went through mentally and physically, and I was able to push past that. And that all came from also playing for Jamaica and being in that atmosphere, because the girls are very friendly and they're hilarious. And I just felt free. I felt like, all right, Tiff, you got your swagger back, you got your voice back, don't be afraid of who this new version of yourself is. And Jamaica has really helped remind me that I'm different and that it's okay to be different and to express myself on and off the field. So yeah, I had a moment where I'm like, you know what, I'm thankful. It's Throwback Thursday. Let me put this up. This is a cool memory. So.
How are you training now that you cannot train with your teammates?
Oh, I go on bike rides. I go on jogs outside. I also have a big setup downstairs in my basement. I do a lot of strength work down there, legs and arms. I keep active. I have to, because I think even during this time, we don't know when things are going to go back to normal. They may never be normal again. But as an athlete, I have to continue to take care of my body and always be ready, because there could be a Jamaican camp in maybe a couple months. I don't know. I could get called up to go play overseas in a couple months. I don't know. So I have to make sure I'm ready mentally and physically. So those things have been very important to me during the week. I get my workouts in.
For those that are watching and are interested in playing professional soccer, can you give us some information about what to do and where to begin?
I think the most important thing is to love what you're doing and enjoy the process. There's going to be moments in your career where you might feel very uncomfortable, but those are moments where you can grow. And if you recognize that it's okay to live in your live in discomfort for a little bit, you will grow mentally and physically. So push past that and love what you do. You got to remind yourself why you do what you do, and just be happy and free. And also know that there are going to be some days where you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to do anything. You're not going to feel motivated, but that's why you should reach out to your friends and your family and talk about it. Because if you do want to get somewhere in life in general, you have to be able to take care of your mind, body, and your soul, you know. So I think it's important just to take care of those things, and you can do anything that's possible.
So now it's time to play the game. This
Put me in the hot seat.
This game is called the 60-second challenge. I will give you a variety of questions, and you have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. Are you ready?
I'm going to be sweating after this. Yeah.
Ready, set, go. Best city you have ever been to?
Amsterdam.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
First thing you did today?
Drank water.
Last person you talked to before this interview?
My mom.
Non-sports related hobby?
Music. Writing music.
World Cup or Olympics?
Olympics.
Favorite season of the year?
I didn't hear that.
Favorite season of the year?
Summer.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Do you have a lucky number?
11.
Cookies or cake?
Cake.
Do you play video games?
Yes.
Biggest fear?
Oh my gosh. Cockroaches.
Do you prefer to play with a lot of sun or a lot of rain?
Sun.
Favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
Yay!
Did I beat it?
Yes. But how many do you think you got?
Oh, I got probably 15. I'm so mad though that I had to ask you. I didn't hear what you said once. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm wasting time. And the fear thing was scary too. Like I didn't know.
You missed your guess by one.
Really?
You got 14. Well, that's better than 13, and so now you're the champion.
Yeah.
So
I'm literally sweating right now. Oh man, that was fun though. I think that's a great idea. You didn't do that with Marlo though, did you?
No.
I think you should do it with Marlo. I want to see. I want to see her responses.
So thank you for doing this interview with me. And is there anything you want to say to me before I let you go?
Well, thank you for your time, and you're very, very well spoken. How old are you?
11.
11. That's impressive. Do you ever want to get into recording later on in your life?
Not really.
Well, you're a great interview. Like this was very, very well spoken, and you didn't even look nervous at all. Were you nervous?
A little.
I think I might have been more nervous than you. Like I couldn't even tell. You're just like. Good job. But thank you so much for your time. Actually really enjoyed this, and I know during these times it's difficult, but if doing things like this can help you and can help other people in the world, I'm always down to be a part of things like this.
To those who are watching, thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to see any of my previous videos, go to our YouTube channel, JC Sports Houston. You'll be able to see other interviews, training videos, and fun sports videos. See you guys next time. Bye, Tiffany. Bye, guys.
Bye.